It is good. It's your boy Sam back here with another video. And in this video today, guys, we're going to be going over and talking about the NBA 2K24 patch notes that did come out on January 8th, which is today. What that means for us in my team as well. Now, we've got three different things to talk about. Then I'm going to be diving super specific into one of them. So, patch notes, again, we'll read through them quickly. Obviously, general likeness updates to Chet, some other cards here, some other players. New York Knicks PA announcer will now make a calls for the home team with the proper intensity, okay? And the big one, in gameplay, reduced effectiveness of the cut to basket pass. Now we're going to be testing it out, and I'm going to be talking about maybe some things that are good with it, things that are bad with it, some adjustments that can be made, those types of things. But that's the big one for the community. Reduce the effectiveness of cut to basket pass. Also, resolve the rare hang that could occur when attempting an alley-oop at a very specific time. Fixed another case that allowed uncalled dribble violations when using dribble emotes while posting up. And addressed a rare hang that could occur in the dunk contest. Okay, that's gameplay-wise. You guys can also see, obviously, my career stuff. Nothing really right there. And then in my team, fixed a new issue that prevented some evolved or shoe badge boosted player cards from receiving these boosts in co-op games. Trips that online co-op score overlay will no longer swap at the end of the game. Adjustments have been made to audio for crowd reactions. When using the exchange from the duplicates or my collection menu, a delay has been added when using the short press and hold setting to avoid accidental exchanges. That's a good one. Address the conflict between coach boost and dynamic duos in certain gameplay situations. Added support for additional card types like coach cards as collection rewards in the player market. Then resolved an issue of preventing shoe cards being applied to some player cards. So that's basically it from the two things that I really wanted to hit on. Now let's dive into the cut to basket pass and what 2K did with it. Now for this specifically, I'm just diving into a random domination game. Not even a game I'm gonna finish up, anything like that. Now we'll get into a traditional 5-out setting. Now what normally would happen if I held triangle, right, I would be able to just send Kobe on a back cut and hold triangle until, you know, I wanted to throw the ball. Now, it just throws it super early, which I really don't like at all, guys, offensively. Now, defensively, I gotta say, the cut to the basket thing was one of the most annoying things in the game, so it looks like that's gonna be just very helpful in playing decent defense. Now, another thing you used to be able to do, and this is me, is I would hold triangle and then just cancel out of it. And that you can still do. So, I'm not trying to give you guys the sauce on how to still be able to back cut, but I'll show you guys next possession. So what you're going to do, just kind of preface this, you're going to hold triangle and then immediately click R1. It's how I ran my offense anyways, because for spacing purposes, I think it's needed to be able to back cut. So I get my 5-out setting. If I want to back cut with Wemby, I'm going to hold triangle towards him and immediately click R1. Boom. And just like that, the back cut is still there. And honestly, guys, that's how I ran my back cuts anyways, is to call triangle, hold triangle, and then click R1, because that's how you canceled out of it anyways. And that gives you the option to still, you know, make that additional play. Because a lot of times what I do is send Kobe on a back cut and then maybe run a pick and roll right here. And then again, same thing here, send another pick and roll. It just allows for your offense. So that you can still do. So this whole, I'm going to be honest, this whole changing it so they nerfed it, there's no nerf in this, guys. If you know what you're doing, it's still the same thing. The only nerf is to the back cut guys that have no idea what they're doing and hold triangle way too long. Now, if that's you, another way you can back cut is you got to click 3 buttons. So you're going to click L1, circle for Kobe, cut to the basket. That's another way you can back cut. And just to kind of teach you guys, that way you have to click 3 buttons, but it still does work. And if you get used to doing that, it's going to be super easy for you guys. The main thing I'm seeing right here is that when I call back cuts, it throws it literally right away. Like, I don't have time to, like, you know, really mess around. Even when it comes to holding, you know, the cancel out button. I don't really have a lot of time. Now, another thing, can still call corner cuts like that with Kobe. Obviously, I personally threw that. So, I mean, is cutting nerfed? No, it's really not. I mean, it might be slightly bumped down, but again, as long as you cancel out of it right away, nothing really has changed for me. And again, for the back cut rats that literally would throw it every possession and just hold triangle and really deep into the possession, sure, it might change a lot of things. But for me, this update isn't going to be nearly as bad as a lot of people think. Now, if you're like, Ty, that's not going to work in an online game. That's domination. We're not too worried about that. Well, guess what? I'm headed into MyTeam Unlimited to showcase the triangle cut. Look at all the back cuts I'm calling. Look at all the back cuts I'm calling. And not once did I throw it. You want to throw it? Boom, just like that. That's how you do it. Cancel out of it by clicking R1 right after. You got to go triangle R1 really quickly. But then you can have options. You don't have to throw the cut. You can continue running your offense. It's how I've always ran my offense. Now, I do believe for some people, it's going to be hard to do because it's somewhat quick reactions and you got to be able to, think ahead, those types of things. So I think for the people that literally held triangle all day long, it's still going to hurt them in the long run. I woke up, everybody's, oh my gosh, the triangle cut's gone. And I'm like, okay, that's cool and all, but is it really gone? Or are people that don't know really how to play the game just saying that? And is this just gonna make people better at the triangle cuts in general? And I think we found our answers. Now, whether you wanted that to be the answers or not, it is the answer at the end of the day. Another triangle cut, just like that. Now, I know Kawhi blocked me, but that's a prime example. I still went right through Kawhi's body to get right by him for the easy dunk if 2K would have let it happen. I'm just going to show you again what it looks like when I do just hold triangle. So if I just hold triangle like I used to, this is how it looks. Just ugly, right? And so if you don't cancel out, yeah, it's going to be a long day for you guys. But if you do, you're back to running your back cut offense. I'll be the first one to say it as my opponent quit here. Triangle cuts, if you're good at them, if you were good at them before, there's no adjustment to them. Now, if you held triangle for seconds on seconds as your guy went to the rim, yeah, now there is an adjustment that you gotta make. But triangle cuts are not gone in 2K. The fact that 2K put out something and made the community think triangle cuts really were patched, and then some people on Twitter today really don't know how to, and this is no shade, but don't know how to really play the game at a super high level. They're like, yeah, if you hold it down for a second, they're just gonna throw the ball. You know what? They do. You are right. But guess what? With the R1 cancellation, which there needs to be anyways, there's no reason there's not a cancellation. It's really no adjustment. Now, the one thing I will say is if somebody just picks up 2K today, they're going to have to know what they're doing. The triangle cuts in general, I think, are going to go down from the 2K community just because a lot of people don't want to even do all that. They don't want to click triangle and then have to cancel out and then actually make a read. What they wanted to do is they wanted to just press triangle and get an easy bucket. So it's not as easy as it once was. I want you guys to know that and be aware of it. But if you think the triangle cut's completely gone, you're in for a rude awakening today. Hate to break it to a lot of you guys that wanted the triangle cut rats to be done, to be out of my team for good. They're gonna be back in full force and maybe even better. Because if you learn how to cancel out of the cut, it makes you just so much of a better baller in general. I want to know your guys' thoughts on this whole situation. I woke up today, everybody was talking about that triangle cut, being removed from 2K. And then when I go and try it out, I really don't notice much of a difference outside of if you don't click R1 really quickly, you're going to be in for some trouble. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, as always, man. I love you guys. Have a blessed day.